Hey guys, Loco here, about to review some LEC. My plan for European content this split is to watch every single European game. Last split, I skipped over XL and Rogue, but this split, I do want to watch both XL and Rogue, so I'm just literally going to watch every single game of LEC. I am going to cut down on LCK. I'll probably do like 1 or 2 LCK games per week, depending on how exciting the match is. But yeah, I'm going to give you full European coverage. Let's go. Got G2 versus Splice. I mean, G2, probably the best team in the world right now, and Splice, one of the, I would still say the top tier European teams, but they're unique in the sense that they are one of the slower teams in Europe, where almost all the top teams in Europe are quite fast. So let's go. Well, a little bit weird to see G2 ban out Aatrox, because I feel like Aatrox is such a good blue side pick. And Zaya, probably don't want Splice to be able to take Zaya on their first rotation, and because Draven is also banned, they don't really have a great counter into Zaya. I mean, the counter into Zaya is Sivir, but Sivir is the counter, but in a sense, if you can do it, you don't want to be giving teams Zaya. Alright, so the trade that G2 was willing to do is Sylas for Ryze trade. When you do Sylas for Ryze trade, you have opportunities early to do a lot of stuff. So the Sylas side can win team fights and they can win early game, because Ryze is actually quite weak early game. He needs about 2 items before he's really fully functional and he can start split pushing and deleting people in the side lane. G2 actually taking their solos early, but Nico could also be a flex. I mean, this is a very well-balanced draft from G2. A lot of flex picks, a lot of strong picks. Very typical G2 draft. The only thing maybe a standard team would have done differently is probably take Sivir here. And because Sivir and Zaya are one of the 2 premier ADs in the meta right now, and deny the Sivir for Splice. All-Star, Kalista ban. These are a little bit off meta. But I guess G2's pool is wide, and maybe Splice scouted Perks, or Perks has played Kalista in his solo queue. But a little bit odd from my point of view, banning Kalista and All-Star. Jay is also a nice flex pick that can go really well with the Ryze. So Splice opted for double AP solos, having 2 AP solos and an AD jungler. It makes your damage balance really nice. It's hard for the solo laners to either build MR or armor early in the game. Lucian, another very popular pick in the meta. Lucian into Sivir, Lucian into Zaya, very common. Lucian Braum, G2 actually opting for a really standard draft. Pretty surprised. Yeah, Nico top, Jarvan jungle, Sylas, Lucian Braum. This is a very standard draft with focus on early game laning. So one thing we can expect a lot of is actually action from all 3 lanes for G2. Bot lane is very gankable, mid lane is very gankable, Nico is going to be pushing a lot. Let's say win condition for G2 is 1-3-1 into team fighting. You have both Nico and Sylas, so you do want a team fight. Like, Sylas is a team fight champion. G2 can be in side lanes, but their win condition is going to revolve around team fights, because if Splice is able to get to a point where the Ryze is decently farmed up, Nico nor Sylas can really beat the Ryze in a side lane. Like, Ryze in a side lane later on, once he gets 2 items, is so fucking disgusting. That champion is just bullshit. Splice, on the other hand, also do want to look for team fights, because they do have a Rumble, they do have a Sivir, they do have a Recon. So it's going to be very interesting to see how both teams balance out using side lane versus opting into team fights. Early game points of action, I would probably say mid lane or top lane. Like rek'sai plus Ryze, Jarvan plus Sylas. These are incredibly dangerous mid jungle 2v2 duos. So both teams are going to want to capitalize and abuse. So G2 actually leashing for Jarvan, and G2 bot lane plays pretty greedy, so I'm surprised that they leashed. Usually they are not the ones to leash. Splice going to have priority from level 1, gonna be able to hit level 2 first, gonna be able to have control over the lane for a decently long time. I mean, once you get to the lane first, that's pretty much any bot lane, you pretty much have the control all the way until level 3, until the wave actually finally crashes. Ooh, Janko's doing red, top 3 camp, was gonna look for the gank mid, it didn't end up going for it. Cap's resetting after he pushed the big wave in. Being able to buy Dark Seal plus Fairy Charm, going to give him a lot of mana to work with. Yep, first 3 waves crashed, now G2 bottom can start playing for prio. Early game has been pretty stale for both teams. A really nice ward here, being able to spot out rek'sai. I'm not sure, must have been Caps placing it when his wave was pushed up. Nico with a lot of prio on Rumble. I mean, just a very standard early game. Not much action going on. They did spot Jarvan walking across. Janko's going to be able to be a little bit careful. So here, why he feels so confident is due to top lane being ahead. Even though Rumble TP back in, Nico built the wave, and I mean, Nico is a lane bully. Her animation for her autos is so clean. So she doesn't get trapped in her autos. Oh, Zerzai barely missed a spite on that one. She doesn't get trapped in her auto animation. So she can go boop and then walk away real quickly. Boop, walk away a little quickly. A lot of Nico being able to play on hit and being able to play top lane has to do with how clean her animation is. Oh, I mean, I'm surprised. No first blood for G2 6 minutes into the game. Like, no first blood either way. One thing that's happening a lot that Spice is going to have to deal with is top lane's actually bleeding pretty hard. They just lost plating. Yeah, they just lost the plating, and Nico had so much control. For this game, how come level 2 and 3, Ryze and rek'sai couldn't pressure Caps? Ryze isn't the strongest early game. Also, Caps played in a way where he wasn't getting ganked. For you to like pressure someone level 2 and 3, also Sylas is just not a very gankable champion either. That dash plus shield helps a lot. Janko's also had a leash on the red, so he could have like, for you to, it just wasn't very possible. I know I talked about Ryze and rek'sai being a strong duo, but that's just not enough. You have to be a strong duo, and also the enemy has to give you openings, and Caps played in a way where he wasn't giving openings. This ward is to check the brushes, and when Nico does try to go into brushes to reset, but also Jarvan sneaking into the brushes after Nico pushes up to prep for a counter gank. Well, really very little action going on early. I'm surprised like G2 didn't go for buff and base, pressure more towards top side. They're just so happy to play out a slow game, and I'm pretty surprised that they want to play out a slow game versus Splice. That gank was really overforced also. Wow, this is not the kind of G2 I'm looking for. Usually when I think G2, I think fast, I think very action-packed, I think very risk-heavy. And not that this kind of gameplay is bad, but the playstyle is not what's reminiscent of G2 I saw from MSI. Oh, there's that first invade going down, able to catch rek'sai. Pretty shocked that he died with both flash, like he just got insta-killed with flash up. Should have been able to spot like Sylas actually roaming. Cap stole the Ryze ult, ulted in. Oh my god. This is what I mean though. Like Ryze versus Sylas is so fucking bad for the Sylas. It is near impossible for the Sylas side to kill. And also something that we can note here, Splice doing kind of a late lane swap when they lost bot side control to be able to pressure top lane. G2 having to respond to this, having to reset and going back and responding to this. They lost 2 plating over it. They have to play careful until Sylas and Lucian are actually in lane. Alright, lane stabilizing again for G2. People in the right lanes. Like, this Nico constantly building an edge on Rumble is so fucking disgusting. Because eventually, like, you have to go and deal with the Nico. But when you're getting pressured on all different points of the map, it's really hard to. Really nice dive setup. I'm going to go back in a little bit and talk about this one. So Jarvan walking in a direction where there's no wars. So the Ryze has no idea the Jarvan's there. So he only sees the Nico walk up and he's like, okay, this is Nico and Sylas. He's like, this is Nico and Sylas. So if the map is split like this, Ryze is hugging this side of the map because he knows Nico's right here. He warded this. So he's like, okay, Nico's going to be here, so I'll be safe if I hug the left side. So he's hugging the left side, realize, oh, I should not be hugging the left side. It's a fucking Jarvan there. Jarvan EQ flash, denies him pretty much any chance to get out. And you can see the rek'sai waiting here. Why is the rek'sai waiting here? Because they expected G2 to go for the top gank. But G2 actually being able to go for mid gank. What? How the fuck did the Rakan die there? Q. You eat. What? What was that RW? What the fuck? What are you doing? Dashed in. What the fuck was that? He wasn't even out of range. He was like here when you went for this. What the fuck, dude? Holy shit, this North Korean guy is straight trolling. Also, on this timing, Rumble tried to get the wave all the way crashed in. Cap throw him down, then killed him. Splice just making a lot of... giving G2 just a lot of openings. Nice. Oh, he didn't even roam down. He TP down for this one. Damn. Spicy gank. One thing that I saw G2 talk about a lot in their movie was how disciplined they want to be and how they want to play controlled. So this is kind of maybe the culmination and the product of that, like them not taking some of the early game fights. I'm not sure, maybe it's Rust, but it's just a very different G2 than I'm used to. Also, this timing is very good for Rumble. Level 11 is one of the strongest power spikes for Rumble, where he has level 2 ult. And he probably has early magic penetration, so this is a timing where Splice really wants to fight G2. And I'm pretty curious if G2 wants to match the level 2 Rumble ult. But you do have a Sylas, and Sylas can steal the level 2 Rumble ult, and kind of evens out the fight in some kind of funny way. It's like, okay, yeah, he instantly stole the level 2 Rumble ult, because that's the strongest thing to steal. Splice forced to jump out. G2 now can get control over Herald again. They're not even going to start Herald. They're going to wait, and they're going to allow Nico to push up bottom. They're only going to fuck with Herald if they need to. Yeah, because they have one more... They're more spread out on the map. All they have to do is do nothing. They have to do nothing. Nico has teleport. They can just wait for them to forcibly start Herald or send someone to deal with bot lane. So Splice going with the option of, okay, we're going to forcibly start Herald. Alright, let's slow down for this. Nico's definitely going to TP. Let's see where good TP angles. Here's not a bad one because she can cut off this exit. And then everyone can go in from this angle. Yeah, probably Nico TP here. And then Rumble ult going to go down. Oh, Nico going to TP here instead. Looks like it's not going to be a flank. It's going to be a straight up fight. You can see Perks maintaining good distance. And it's Mickey X actually getting engaged on. Probably the best member for G2 to get engaged on along with Jarvan. Jarvan or Braum getting engaged on is best for G2. Braum gets engaged on. Rumble ult actually kind of shitty. Doesn't even touch Perks. Perks maintaining distance using ult. Junko's getting the Jarvan ult. Oh my goodness. Damn. G2 Rumble ult was just so much fucking better than Splice Rumble ult. Wow, that was a yikes. That was a fucking yikes. Just bad map control from Splice forced them into such a shitty spot. Where they grouped up for Herald and they realized, wait a minute, we can't fucking do this. And then they were like, okay, we're just gonna fucking do it anyways. This was so troll. Yeah, look at this Jarvan Rumble ult combo. And the person that's like tanking the whole time is Jarvan and Braum. Just positioning from G2 was way too fucking good, and when Splice forced that fight, oh, that was GG. Putting Ryze in a side lane. Putting Ryze in a side lane and having Rakan and rek'sai back him up. Remember, that's one of the win conditions that we talked about for Splice, being able to split push with Ryze. But a G2 actually not playing into it and forcing their own plays by going up mid, by going up top and ignoring the Ryze. Basically telling Splice, yeah, fuck off. We're not going to play to your win condition, which is Ryze split pushing. You're going to have to come to us and deal with our win condition, which is team fighting, which is you walking into us, which is big 5-5 skirmishes. We are not going to walk into a Ryze side lane. Like G2 just playing very well to their win condition and forcing Splice into awkward spots. Like Ryze couldn't split push all the way because G2 never went to deal with Ryze, and they had the better tempo, they had the Herald, and they're forcing on top of Splice, and Splice has to deal with them. Oh my god, is it gonna be a 2 inhibitor game before 20 minutes? Yeah. Now G2 can go get Mountain Drake, control Baron. Mountain Drake just speeds up their Baron so nicely. I mean, the big play here isn't G2's like team fighting. The big play there for G2 is not falling into what Splice wants to do, which is Ryze split pushing and making their own plays and pushing mid and top and forcing Splice to deal with them. Like, you can see how much Splice wants G2 to come here. Like, they have Ryze in a side lane, split pushing, with rek'sai and Rakan backing him up. And G2's not fucking dealing with that. G2's like, fuck off. We are not going to play into your Ryze split push. We are not that dumb. Damn, just really nice from G2. I love, like, this is my biggest thing about G2. Not only they really mechanically skilled team, they're incredibly intelligent team also. It's not that they're just mechanically skilled, like they force the right kind of fights. What the fuck, that fountain dive. Oh my god, never fucking talk about a team being smart again. What the fuck is this shit? I'm like, they're an incredibly intelligent team that forces fountain dives and somehow wins the fountain dives and ends the game anyways. Okay, you do you. What a troll. What a fucking troll. Well, that's my G2 Splice review. Looks like G2 is that bitch. Once again, the entirety of Europe is going to have to try their best. It might be an undefeated split. G2 looks so strong. It's very reminiscent of Fnatic in 2015, where they went to MSI. They lost to SKT. They actually didn't win MSI, but they actually did incredibly well at MSI, and then they leveled up a lot, and they knew they had potential to do well on the world scene, on the international scene, and when they came back to Europe, they were very like pumped and ready to go. And maybe this MSI victory is that for G2, where they know we can be one of the best teams in the world. Maybe we are the best team in the world. Like, let's fucking show it in Europe. So there's like two kind of competition. Sometimes you're competing versus other people, and sometimes you're competing versus yourself. And G2 is a team that's like competing versus themselves right now. They are the absolute most top tier, and they want to be doing things to make sure they can maintain that top tier. Nice POV from Caps. Oof. Stole the rek'sai ult. Going in for the rek'sai ult. Alright, cool.